Night rain. Papa, go down to the fields near the river in a night rain. Look, Papa, see. In the fields by the river, the corn growing. Night rain. Grandpa, go down to the mud near the river in a night rain. Look, Grandpa, see. In the ditch by the woods, the corn growing. Night rain. Daddy, go down to the sloughs near the ditch in a night rain. Look, Daddy, see. In the garden by the fields, the corn growing. Dare I revisit my childhood? What globe do I want on my shoulders, in my gaze? Part of me wants to hold that mouse in my palm, cup it, but I know it would run. So many of me have been left behind, and I cup each one an acorn, an ocean of tenderness in each drop of blood. I want to give you a tour of Anywhere America to see the squiggling underneath. I passed the tea house surrounded by horses, the land of America forgotten. Did women swish through the rooms holding saucers? The colonial manor alongside, bleak from my perspective, blanched, not in stone, cracked by tobacco roots. We call them green leaves. But what's it but paper glued to the branch of the old fir? My mother is unsure of what sort of Christian she was in her hometown. First Christian is the only response I ever got out of her. I found that dangerous, like trying to read the first and last page to know a story. Conversion seemed dangerous, but the more I know, the less I know, which sounds about right. And I understand that belief for many is communal and presents itself throughout life as an array of flowers, a bouquet with no name tag, left at your doorstep by an unknown lover. Walmart's a meeting place to leave cars and drive together. Wally World's a hopping spot for spending money on $5 tanks. That used to be a blockbuster. I read on Twitter about the last one, phased out for Redbox, small as a bread box, bad-mouthing. Across the Cloverleaf, downtown, but back homebound. 41 alternate ways to get downtown, 15 pawn shops, 22 car dealerships, one remodeled Golden Corral, which used to be a delicacy. Books inform, but only the Bible transforms, Church of Christ. Everyone is approved, car dealer. Henderson's mom, a clinic, feels like you'll get sicker just breathing the air, but Methodist Hospital is notorious. There's the gas station that used to be my favorite restaurant. It's across the street from what used to be a mini golf course. I don't know if there's a connection. Gas back there, $1.83. Gas here, $1.99. My uncle wanted to own a 24-hour Fit, but it never surfaced. Welcome to downtown, underneath the train pass. Nothing taller than 3 stories, except the church. This shoebox coffee shop has closed 10 times. Nobody wanted the beef. This truck, that truck. Here's First Street, where my grandparents live and always will. What sort of fortitude does it take to live such a life? A life full of people that creates memories and fantasies beyond your own history. When my grandfather looks back at his life, what is it that he identifies as worthy of memory? When one is his age, do the seemingly important memories stick out? Or things like watermelon seeds on public buses? I remember all of the paths we've taken, the journeys everyone in my family has been on, all sprouting from the line of Ray. And I remember that we are also just one drop in the oceans of families. I thought my grandparents had always lived there once upon a time. Uncle Jim home, where grandparents once lived. I remember most through bloodlines. Blackberry juice squeezed in the palm, great-grandmother grew all across the backyard, runners scampering over green mat, something sparkling like green lava plumes to me a child, running through the grasses of my old Kentucky. Graham Hill was the setting for all I know. Even in dreams now, I see it there as it used to be, despite the modern mods for family function that have taken the wildness, wilder trees in the backyard than any I now know. We never had beef don't keep. The dogs would run pack wild, sometimes home, sometimes off somewhere wild. Great-grandmother Alice fixed us vegetables, would say grace, and evenings, flying at the low-hanging sun, we knew no mortality. This town was once a bunch of nightclubs. Before that, it was a per capita bankroll of millionaires. The city building looks a lot smaller than it used to. 2 courthouses, because one isn't good enough for misdemeanors. $1.75 a cupcake, too much. The stoplights have always seemed too long. Haba, lema sabachthani. Bring back my mystic, my ecstasy, my passion. Show me the mansions within my soul. Dogma is just strict enough to whisper through prayer beads, but today's believers need an awakening. Faith should be violent, a kiss too long, leaving you lightheaded from lack of breath, and introspective, staring into the eyes of purest love, your own desire matching fire and possibility. Pray like a beast, pray like a lover, use your whole self. Every inch of skin and nerve tensed for the release, someone caring as much as you. 2nd Street, home to all the business you could ever want. You're swimming with me, Kentucky. You swim with me when my life chest is a satellite. We swim through channels, murky brown river rat water. We swim through fantasies, and we boat down dreams. You're swimming with me in Kentucky as I drown in the sediment of an ancient suburb. I am drowning while you fight through bluegrasses. I am drowning when you get to my side, breathlessly. You gather me in your arms. Rookies has been since time immemorial. Wolf's Tavern, where friends meet, famous for bean soup since 1878. All the buildings look the same, kind of like the way you'd imagine a western town to look. 60 feet above, I float. I float 30 feet between as well. On top, a boy of some teenage years, reveling in the sun that warms the surface of this man-made reservoir, pruning my extremities in that sun and murked up water, but 30 feet and more below where the sun can't shine, in endless midnight, as in the churchyard, I float too. I'm suspended above, a fly on a pin, observed by another inquisitorial self, wondering how many pounds of pressure I can take before crumbling, floating in the dark deep of the lake in a suspension of memories and rainwater, a tide of time filling my crevasses and rinsing my skin cells, forcing some down in the rain to join those at the bottom, those drowned in old Patawa, in a flurry of skin cells that drifts in and out of belfries, around cornices and settles nowhere. They thought about a CVS. How many do we need? St. Vincent de Paul extends a hand to the unwealthy. Never been in pedals and more. More what? Too hothouse for breathing. There's your school, holy name, takes up a city block. Even I recall the horror of times tables, called to the front of class and ready to flee, as I forgot how to multiply 7 by anything. I ate the strawberries and worked up a sweat-making clover chains on the soccer field. My education was also red. The bricks stained with blood leaked when I accidentally punched a hole through the window of the girls' locker room from the outside. Tag was banned after that. I thought they were going to move the train depot brick by brick from where it was across town, but all they did was recreate it. Garage sale where? 40 miles per hour, too fast, gonna get a ticket. Who is Mr. B? Municipal golf course where Grandpa always plays with Oscar the knock grouch. Sometimes he walks. What is more a sight than that lightning-struck gaze on my tree? Burnt smell, crisp petrification tipping my limbs, my gawp as the fields liven with floods, rain from God, rain on his land, filling me with such nostalgia. The ratchet kings, its mountain song, solemn roadster from cliff and crevasse, ridden in a solace of pine, gird up these loins with fearsome spite and speed me away home. I remember this fountain going up the first time and playing in it. I wipe my face in the mud. I can see my reflection. Welcome to the land of God, city folk. Y'all find our cattle in the corn, our porch-sitting couch. Who sits? Let me sing for them. Steve sings a song, a one-voiced quartet. You floated, the shade of a landscape painter, re-embodied in a trim and black-gowned beauty. I saw you rocketing off, sightseeing moons and renaming Plutos. When you stepped, imaginary lizards followed. They call her Nicole, dog whisperer. She knows no language but mirth and warmth. Her body radiates with it, glowing as sun-drenched as the sand. I think he thinks about the shuttle and rocket scientists in my books, but I only think about my rocket Ford, Daddy the astronaut blasting back home from the lunar gravel. For a long time, I would tuck myself in and whisper in my head the words you enchanted. Even in college, for a time, I would think this is the way to keep myself close to you. My body, a relic in a jewel box, precious with memories. Grandmother, mother, why do we sing when we feel sad? Float as we sink, desperation poured into a small glass and hidden in a cupboard, poured out now to spill our dreams. Your history, mine. I claim it. I keep it. I kiss it. I kiss you, all of you, with a depth in my chest so deep it hurts. This is Main Street America, dreamer. A church or tavern on every corner, a bar on every sidewalk, and a river to drink. Midland, Godland, traveler, we are now at the center of things. Horse breeding gods of equestrians walking out dirt roads, driving up dust. Welcome to the foothills, boot heels of America, stranger. Stay a while, in anywhere. America, you can see the coal barges drift.
That was so good.